Hello my friends, and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to see what I have going on. Today I'm doing something a little different, and I'm kind of in overdrive right now. If you don't know what I mean, go look at my community tab and it'll kind of explain it to you. So what I am doing right now is, if you saw my video from yesterday, which it will probably be at the end of this video, it'll probably be a place where you can go check it out. I did have a little thrift haul, and I had some panels in it. This is one of the panels that I had. I had some bunny rabbits that I could piece together and make little pillows out of them. They're supposed to have, this is the bottom of this large one. They're supposed to have like a hard bottom. I'm not putting hard bottoms on these because I want my grandbabies to be able to play with them, to lay on them, this is going to be a decoration that they can be hands-on with. So I'm not putting anything hard in the bottom of this. I'm just stuffing it with polyfill. And what I'm going to do is just get right on into this. I guess I need to, well, no, I guess everything is good. So we're going to get right on into it, and maybe we'll chit-chat a little bit. Because all I'm doing is just this one little bunny rabbit right now. Oops. I forgot to plug my foot back in. So I have only cut this one foot, this one bunny rabbit out. So I'm hoping that this is kind of my tester. I'm kind of testing it here. And the instructions tell me that I'm going to sew this at approximately 3/8 of an inch. So that's just one mark past my 1/4 inch. So what I'm actually doing is just stitching on. You'll see the bunny. This is the wrong side right here, but I'm stitching on just the edge of that colored print. And I'm just going to go around the whole bunny the same way. And you know, to me, it does not have to be exact, because this is, like I said, a decoration for my grandbabies to be able to play with. You know, they won't know if it's perfect or not. It's going to be something that they can play with. And just something that I can do cutesy, you know, a soft decor thing that they can explore. Because there will be a lot of things that they cannot play with. So I don't want my house to be somewhere that my grandbabies can't play with something each holiday, because they will have all kinds of things to see. And I will be making a panel book also for them. The Peter Rabbit, the Tales of Peter Rabbit. I will be making that one also for Easter for them. And the thing about these panels is you pretty much have to sew on certain lines, and they're not straight stitch stuff like you see. I'm turning this one around, but they're easy peasy. You don't have to worry about a pattern. because it's already figured out for you. All you have to do is cut the piece of fabric off. And yeah, I will say there's some parts of this that has white, and that is so hard for me to see. And you'll probably notice I'm leaving some of my pins in and sewing over them. That's because I'm watching where the needle is going. And if it is not going directly on the pin, sometimes I will leave that pin in to keep it secured. And I mean, it doesn't hurt anything for me to do that, because my needle is not hitting that pin. Now, if I'm not real sure about it, I will go on and pull it out. See, like that one, I'm not real sure about it, so I'm going to go on and take that one out. And you'll see me raising my foot there. That's because I can see the color line a lot better with my foot raised up. And I can like slowly turn the fabric with my foot raised up. Now see, like this one here, you know, that's a V area there. I'm just going to put one stitch in. And we're just going to see, this is going to be a quick, easy project. I just wanted to get a little something done. You know, this is going to be calling my Smash the Stash. So that's what I'm doing. I'm showing you that I am working stuff out of my stash. I have quite a few things that's going to be smashing the stash. And I will be bringing you guys along with me on that. And yeah, my poor husband is still on a shutdown. And I know he feels bad that he can't be here while I feel bad. And because he's a caregiver. He likes to take care of people. And it really bothers him that he can't be here. So, but it's okay, honey. If you're watching this, babe, I'm okay. I'm great. You know what I mean by I'm in overdrive. So, I have got the sides of this completed. Now, what I need to do is the bottom. Now, when I cut this out, I left that bottom piece there. Just as a reminder, hey, don't sew over this. Our next step is to pin this to this. So, we're pinning the flat bottom piece to the upright piece. First step I'm going to do is find my center on my oval, and then find the center on the ends and the center of the sides for the bunny. And I'm going to mark both of the sides. Because that is going to be my starting point. I know one side I have to leave unstitched for a good part of it. But I will still pin it together because I do want it to stay pinned together. Okay, so we are going to turn it this direction and slip it up in here. And I know where my center is, so I'm matching my stitch line. Nope. I match my stitch line to the outer line on this. Now, this is going to be where I do not sew. But I am going to go ahead and pin my center on this side as well. And how I do this, I'm going to kind of flatten this. Now, notice that that has kind of V'd right there. I'm going to just put another stitch or two in that. So it doesn't create a problem there. And let me back stitch there as well. We'll trim those off. So now what I can do is kind of flip that edge. I kind of have a little crease here so I can see where my edge is. And I'm going to pin that edge right there. Coming to the other side. I'm going to go on and do an extra stitch in that side as well. Y'all may have to excuse me in a second. I may have to go get me a little bottle of water. But I'm pinning this. So what I am going to do, I'm going to start sewing like right here. And I'm going to come all the way around here to right here. I probably do need to try to pin this. Nah, I'm not going to try to pin it. I may try to pin the first, where the first stitch is going to be. I don't know. Maybe I'll pin it. I'm one of those indecisive sewers. I just kind of go with the flow and do it as needed. Now I'm looking at this and I know I need to do this at a 3/8 inch. So what I am going to have to do is I'm going to have to sew this from this side. That's going to be a challenge. But that's okay. I'm up for a challenge right now. Why not? And if you're new and don't know my history of sewing, I'm new to quilting. I've only been quilting since maybe June of last year. I'm thinking April, May, June, somewhere in there. But I've been sewing since I was 9, thanks to my aunt and my grandmother. All of us learned how to sew quite early on. I mean, we started sewing quite early on. But I've always loved to sew. I mean, I can honestly say that until I was probably in junior high, I did not wear store-bought clothes. Shirts, maybe a few of them, but pants, never. I preferred skirts, and I never wore denim. I did not like blue jeans. And I'm still kind of funny on blue jeans. Right now, even. I don't care for blue jeans. Especially if they have the snaps and all of that in the waist. I just cannot stand that. But I have sewn clothes and some home decor too. I mean, I've mainly sewn clothes since I was 9. I got into more home decor stuff later on, but mainly I did clothes. So doing things like this, which you can't really see on my table all that well, how I'm having to twist and turn the little bunny rabbit. I may need to turn you down just a little bit so you can see that. Let me do that. Maybe this is a little better. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. Now on curves, you're always going to have some stuff that pin tucks in there. Or folds over. I don't know what you're going to call it. I call it a pin tuck. But my main thing I'm trying to do is to stay on that stitch line of the bunny rabbit, because the bottom piece is a solid color, so it does not matter. And if y'all have not realized, any downtime I have, I sew. I love to sew. It is just, it brings me so much joy. You know how some people like to read books and stuff? I'd rather be creating. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like to read books. Quilting books, gardening books, flower books. Every now and then, I will read a novel. But you cannot beat a good instructional garden book. Just saying. And it's getting close to time for my gardening. I've been telling y'all about my garden here recently, and oh my goodness, I went back out there again today and had some more asparagus, but it don't never make it in the house. I eat it right there. I love it. I love growing. And I checked out my little sunflowers just to make sure they were sunflowers and not weeds, and maybe I'm mistaken. I'm not mistaken. I found the actual head that was dropped in the dirt. So it did what I wanted it to do, which I'm very happy about. And so and it's a bunch of sunflowers. I may have to wait, I may have to spread them out some. Who knows, I may put some in one of my garden beds, because I'm not going to be growing vegetables like I did last year. I will grow some vegetables, but probably more along the lines of herbs and perennial things that'll come back on their own every year, and all I have to do is just weed it. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to back stitch here just to make sure this does not come apart. I probably should have done that at the start. So our next step, okay, I'm having trouble with the thread here. It's giving me all kinds of issues. Our next step is to turn this inside out and stuff it. So what I'm going to do is, this right here came in my Jenny's Countdown to Christmas box. Lovely box. It was fabulous. So I'm just going to turn and kind of, finger press out stuff. Put my hands up in there and get things popped out that needs to be popped out. We got ears. We got to make sure our ears come out. I want y'all to be able to see what I'm doing here. So I will get my tool And I will start at this edge of the seam and just start. I think I'm going to use the rounded end first. Now I will also use this tool when I go stuffing the bunny rabbit, because I will use it to stuff with. Let's see what I'm doing. I'm just rolling it down the seam. And I'm not using the pointy end. I'm using the rounded end. Which I will probably use the pointy end. Well, I need the pointy end right here, apparently. Yeah, I've got some little tight places right here. I don't know why that did like that. That created a craziness right there on that seam. But it's not really going to matter. Sometimes you have to trim some corners. That one's still in. Well. Okay. So this is our bunny. I am going to stuff him and bring you back so you can see how I'm actually going to finish that opening. Here I have a bag of, I think it's fiberfill. It just says stuffing right. I thought I had some fiberfill. I must have used it all. But I'm just going to start by pulling wads or big plugs out of it, because I want to start stuffing the head first. The ears more specifically, because there are some little peaks there, and I need to push this through here. Now, like I said, this is going to be for my grandbabies to play with. So, this is a toy. It's actually a decor, but my grandbabies are going to be able to play with this. I remember my grandmother had things that we could actually play with, you know, in her house that was decor. Now, I'm not going to say they didn't have things that we couldn't play with, because they did. They had, you know, kind of heirloom things that we couldn't play with, but it was fun to have something that we could play with. And I think probably the fact that we had something that we can play with kind of saved those heirloom things. And which is good, because now we still have those things at my age. And if anybody's wondering, I'm 52. I mean, I don't have a problem telling people how old I am. That's how many years I've been blessed with. I'm trying to get the bunny really stuffed. Like, a lot of stuffing. Because, you know, when kids start playing with it, it's going to kind of flatten out a little bit. So I want to have enough stuffing in here to where it don't go flimsy. I still have some pillows, y'all, that my grandmother made. I have a pillow she made me, and it is just as flat could be. I know she hand stitched it. I'm probably going to take it apart and restuff it and repair any stitches that look loose in it, but I'm going to sew it on the sewing machine. I'm not doing it by hand. But y'all are seeing my first little Easter thing I'm doing this year. Now, we'll have to redistribute once I get all the stuffing in that I can get in there and I can sew it. So I'm probably going to overstuff at the top, and then once I sew that bottom on, kind of distribute it better. Okay, so this is all I'm putting in here right now. I am going to go ahead and sew this right here, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. What I'm going to do is, I know it's going to fold in at that stitch line. I am going to pin that all the way down. Okay, I'm getting my threads to hand stitch this. Not what I really want to do. I don't like hand stitching at all. At all. First off, I don't know where my thimble is. I haven't used a thimble in years. I cannot see well enough to thread these needles. I'm hoping I'm getting this one threaded. I'll probably fight with it for a little while, and I'll probably just fast forward through that or cut that out. So y'all aren't seeing me struggle. Oh, there, it happened real quick. Okay, you will notice that I take one long string and I fold it in half. I do not tie the ends because I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, this is not close up, so I know it's going to be hard to see. I go in between the two folds here at the very last stitch. Okay, let me find the end of that. Here's the end of that string. You may not be able to see it. Okay, you see the string? I take my needle and run in between it there and just pull. So what that does is it locks it on itself. That's just a little cross stitch trick that I have. So now I'm just going to keep, I do a real close stitch when I hand stitch. I just do. Especially with stuffed things. You don't want the stuffing to start poking out of there. And I'm just catching the very edge of it. Because that's going through 4 pieces of fabric. You have your top piece that's folded, then you have this bottom piece that's folded also. So that's a 4 thickness there. So you're catching a lot of fabric there. You're good if you just get the edge. It's not like it's going to unravel. So I will speed this up so y'all can watch it. And if you want to see how I do this, this is how I do it. I can hand stitch. This is probably the first time y'all have seen me hand stitch, but I can do it. I just choose not to. It's not a favorite thing of mine to do. Which I may try to hand bind a small quilt one day, but definitely not a large one. And a drawback of having pins in your thing is your threads get caught on your pins. And make sure when you're doing your stitches, you're doing them really tight. Because with all that stuffing, it will pucker if you don't. Trust me. I know from experience. You don't want puckering. Not on something you've sewn. Okay, I have finished whip stitching that. Now I am going to try to get the filler down in that. Trying to get it all over it. Okay, so here you see my little bunny rabbit. I still have some filling to do here. I'm just going to keep rolling it around until it fills in like these loose spots. And I get his head filled in good. But this is our bunny rabbit. And he is done. So guys, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you've not yet subscribed, please do. Feel free to leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I do respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.